G'day there guys, Elfie here. Some of you may have noticed that I put a Neurotransmitter 2.0 video up and that it's no longer available. I spent about 6 hours editing that and trying to get rid of a name of a student. She logged in with her full name and so I spent about 6 hours trying to cover that and blurring it out and everything and trying to make sure that her identity was safe, and apparently I failed, which I don't quite understand how this video editing thing works, because I went through frame by frame and blurred it out in Adobe Premiere and published it, and it looked all good to me, put it up on YouTube and there were people that could see it, so I'm not quite sure what happened there. So instead of wasting more time trying to go through and get rid of that name, I thought I would just run through the map myself and show you how it all worked, and give you an idea about what happened and what I missed and what I would do next time. So this is the spawn location, that's what this block means. These kids, some of them have played Minecraft before, some of them haven't. So basic instructions were spacebar to jump, and the basic movement keys: fall down there, come up and out the other side and jump on this block. And that block isn't set up, and that block took you to test chamber 1. I actually deleted this teleport block, and it took you up into here, and you were standing on a glass platform here. Now some students managed to, I forgot to turn student building off, so they managed to break the thing and fall through, and they were having fun, and that was fine. But once we got them all sorted out, I explained that this lever was the signal that they got to carry the message on, and they were all standing on a trapdoor here. So the idea was, if I put some redstone in my hand to try and demonstrate how it worked. So they were standing on these, and then I would say I would trigger that lever and that would send a message to them to jump, and they would go through here, and then they would have to stand on the pressure plates and light up all of these receptors. Now I built it perfectly. I estimated, I have 15 students in my class, I estimated that probably 13 would show up, so I put 13 redstone lamps and 13 pressure plates around and guessed exactly right. So that worked out quite well. So we had 13 people on pressure plates, and that exploded some TNT that was set in here in a 3x3 square and exploded the hole in the wall. And then they could come and jump on this next one, and they ended up in the second test chamber. Now the same thing happened, except this test chamber was pitch black when they went down. So before I sent them down, I explained that this was going to be pitch black and that their job was still to light up the receptors. And I said it would, freaky music, it would get easier as they went, because people were lighting them up. So I can see one here, and then you can start to see more and more and more. And the basic principle behind this particular chamber was to explain to them that neurotransmitters can't see where they're going. They randomly move across the synapse to the receptor, and then light that receptor up as such, or trigger that receptor. So once they got through there, same thing happened. We ended up in the next one. And this next one, and this is where we started to have some issues, I built a chamber to hold those that died, so that if they died in the game, they could respawn here and watch what everyone was doing. And you'll notice that there are monsters must be turned off. Hang on. No, not that one. That one. There are still pressure plates. There's a bit more light in this one. The idea behind this... Why is it not letting me spawn them? Might have to see what the bug is there and let the developers know about that one. But I froze all the kids, and I put all the kids were stuck down here and they couldn't move, and I put 6 zombies around the room. and then I turned their health and hunger on, the kids' health and hunger on, and made them run around and try and light it up. Now, they didn't last very long, someone died, and then the respawn caused a bit of a server crash. That bug's been fixed now, but yeah, the whole principle here was to show them that they couldn't get that message sent unless they were all present. Although apparently it looks like this message wasn't sent because the door's not open. Which is up here. So I don't know what happened there. Maybe I didn't save this afterwards. So yeah, they died. So some student died, and then the theory was they wouldn't be able to get that message on because there's still the same 13 receptors, and therefore the TNT wouldn't blow up unless they did that. So once we did that, jumped over this one, which is broken, and we went to test chamber 4. And you can see that this one we didn't actually come to. I explained, because of the server crashes, I explained to the students what was happening, and we moved on. So this one was a combination of pitch black and, or was going to be, I should say, a combination of pitch black and zombies. And I should mention one of the flaws, and we discussed this at the time, of this map is that zombies can light up the receptors, which is not necessarily what happens in a true neurotransmitter situation. So the enzymes that break down neurotransmitters in the synapse can't light up the receptors. So that was one flaw, and we discussed that as a class, and that was a really good teaching moment, I thought. So we'll go through, and I had 6 test chambers set up, and again we didn't do this one either. This one was going to be like a stack of zombies, so instead of just 6 I was going to put like 30 or 40 or something, just to explain to the students how the ratio of neurotransmitted enzyme affects how quickly or often that message gets sent. And then the final one is here, and this was a pitch black one again, so that the combined, you can't see where you're going, with a whole stack of zombies trying to explain to the students how neurotransmitters, well, some of the restrictions neurotransmitters have on them. After that, so we didn't do the last 3 test chambers. After that we came over here. Too far. There we go. And we started over here, and I'd set up these 3 models to explain some particular concepts to the students, and this particular section didn't go very well, or didn't go as well as I would have liked, I should say. Now that's a reflection on me, I think, and my style of teaching, and what the students expected of me, not necessarily of the map design itself. I had information blocks where they could read information about the model they were about to see. So this model here was designed to show them how the charge in an axon changes, and sort of demonstrate that it goes like a caterpillar, and one being set off sets the other one off, and so on and so forth. So it was just a good visual representation, and the kids actually did really well there. I think they really got that. This demonstration here is explaining about what would happen if neurotransmitters weren't broken down, and this worked quite well. So you can see the redstone down the bottom there. If we fire off, it's not going to work because monsters aren't working. Just give me a second and I'll see if I can fix it. I'll be back. Okay, problem's been sorted out. So this chamber will go back to this chamber. Redstone signifies the signal is being sent, so we click on that, and you see we get a heap of zombies down. Now if we keep sending that signal, you can see quite quickly that my synapse down here is becoming flooded quite quickly. I'm just going to turn that volume down, sorry guys. You can see quite quickly that my synapse becomes flooded quite quickly. And then they were supposed to come over here to this one, where same sort of thing, you press the button, and you can press the button over and over and over again, and this chamber is actually open to the sunlight. So you can see that the zombies are all dying, making horrible noises. So in some time, my synapse will actually be clear again. So in that respect, I think that example worked quite well. There were a few redstone glitches and things like that, and clearing this after the kids pressed that button about 30 times was really quite hard. And the third and final demonstration was another one, a bit of a different one, to explain how the ions in one trigger the ions in the next, which trigger the ions in the next section of the axon as such. So you press this button and the zombies come down and they burn, and then the new AI says find shade, so they head in there, and that triggers the next set of zombies to do the same thing. They find shade, which triggers the next set. Now the really neat thing about this one, or I thought, and again the kids didn't pick up on this, was apart from redstone glitches, you can't actually reset. You can't press this one a heap of times in a row, because there's a pause to it. So if we trigger it, I can't actually trigger it again. It doesn't work until we get to the end here and it gets reset. For some reason the redstone's glitched out here. One of my torches has burnt out, I'm pretty sure. So the idea behind that was to explain that to them, and that worked out pretty well. There was a bit of an issue with students who know how to play Minecraft launching themselves across and into here, and oh, I missed. Not as good as my students, launching themselves in here and playing around in here and stuff like that, which was addressed. So that's the neurotransmitter map. We did discuss the issues with this of not having a delay, so you can actually keep the whole thing up if you spam click. And that's a limitation in that model there. So that is basically the Neurotransmitter 2 map, without any of the kids, unfortunately. I will filter through the footage and see if I can find some bits without that student's full name in them, and see what I can publish. So sorry about that. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.